Good afternoon, dear listeners. Welcome to Riff Radio 8999. And we are back at it again after a little 2 weeks break. Right, Blinko? How are you doing, my friend?
Yes, sir. GM. How are you, friend?
Man, I'm still recovering from Ape Fest, I'll be honest, man. But also, like, there's been also some, sneaky, peeky and activations going on with the alts. So sleep and rest has not been very present for the last week or two. That's what I can tell you. How you been?
Oh, good, man. Good. I mean, we've been saying when for quite a while, and I mean, chapter three's here, and holy cow! I mean, there was a lot packed into that animation, man.
I mean, it definitely held quite attention and a lot of little nuggets all over the video. I mean, I think a lot of people still haven't really figured all of the connections out, right? And I think it's kind of normal, I would say, in a way, because we are so excited to see something, so we overlooked basically the nuggets, right? That's kind of hidden in between them as well.
Yeah. Definitely, that's definitely the case. It's often when that maybe the nugget you're excited for people to see, the one that ultimately ends up getting seen last, maybe.
I mean, we've seen a couple of sneaks, right? So, do you have any favorites so far?
Well, I mean, I think we're starting to see a little bit more on the clothing side of the trades, right? So I think, initially we kind of saw like maybe more of maybe a common or a blandish or normalish, right? PFP, but all of a sudden, we're starting to see a little bit more wilder traits, a little bit more on the clothing side, and I think, gosh, my favorite so far. I think I like mullet hair. I'm a fan of mullet hair, big time. Um, and some of this clothing, man. Some of this clothing. And also, I've seen some other stuff, but that's for another day.
And we've seen also like the laser eyes.
Laser eyes, yeah. That looks super
That
clean.
was the
That
like an
there's
unexpected sneak drop all of a sudden.
I have some friends that have gone to Earth and done these little crop circle things, where you go to a field and you do a little drifting in your spaceship and you take off and you scoot on out. It looks like that's on that guy's head, you know?
I
You
mean,
notice
why
that?
do you guys do that even, man?
Why do you humans like do donuts in parking lots? I mean, it's like the same thing. We just like having a good
So
time.
so so what? You and your friends are using Earth as a big parking lot to do drifts?
Bro, like it's not just Earth. Like we've got the entire galaxy, man. It's a trip, bro.
Oh man.
Maybe we'll show you have to vibe sometime. Maybe Fernando, you need to get out of that radio station, and we need to just kind of kick it in a field someday.
Well, as long as you don't end up probing me, I'm fine with it.
Nah, man. It'll be good. It'll be a good time. Crop dusting. Crop dusting in the way that the aliens crop dust, not the way that Fernando crop dusted. Man, I'm hearing those drums, and oh my gosh.
Yeah, sure. Let's trust the alien that wants to take me to crop circles. That's gonna
When,
end up well.
when have I steered you wrong, friend? When have I ever steered you wrong?
I mean, you've seen earthly movies, right? It never ends well for the guy that is living randomly middle of nowhere, meeting an alien.
It,
It never ends well.
it's true. It's true. I think maybe we need a new movie. Maybe
You
we
guys need
need
new
that
PR
one where
agency. That's what you guys
yeah,
need.
definitely.
You need to
We
work
need a
on your
new PR
PR.
agent.
It's terrible.
That's
They're blaming all kind of government stuff on you.
it's just not me, man. It's the government.
Balloon crashes. Ah, it was the aliens.
Oh man, I'm telling you, we get a bad rap everywhere we go. Aliens matter, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, but I mean, I mean, the animation itself, right? So it was the first glimpse we got actually from the inside the motel, right? After you go in, right,
Yeah.
and then you go upstairs and you see definitely some sneaks on the wall, but also like at the end you see an elevator, but then they turn back to and go into this room. So I'm not sure
But
what's. You're
why
right.
didn't go in the elevator, right? Like, I mean, like for real, like we've been wanting to know what's been going on inside of this motel forever. Finally, we get inside the motel and we just gloss over the elevator, man. Like, well, come on, for real.
That just
I mean,
went like ah no 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 no.
I've seen enough Willy Wonka to know that that elevator goes up ways, sideways, diagonal ways. You know, like come on, like the
I mean,
obvious and the obvious.
the whole place got
Maybe
two
I'm
floors anyways. Why do you need an elevator for?
you know, sometimes when you interact with others, you want to act in similar ways so you don't spook them out, man. Like if I'm up walking beside you and all of a sudden I disappear and I end up to the place where you're going to be, you know, like
Not spook them
we
out,
gotta
bro.
stagger into these things, man.
Bro, there is a freaking the shining tricycle near that elevator. If you would have seen that, you would have not gone towards the elevator either. You would just gone to the first room as well, right?
Oh, The Shining, yeah. That's that
Like,
Jack's back thing, right? Where he just went like off tilt.
like you know, I mean,
Okay, maybe.
whoever is, I mean, I don't know if we're looking from someone's perspective or it's just the camera going, but if it's a person, I would have gone. I wouldn't gone to the elevator either. Like you know, the next scene is gonna be la 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 la. Then you know, all blood gushing all over the elevator. Then you know, we don't want that. So
That's what it's true. I mean, I guess, you know, I've been taking a lot of advice from this Ollie character, and maybe I'm just looking at things way too glass half full. That guy seems to think like everything's great. Maybe I need to be just a little bit more conservative.
I mean,
When
what
I'm
do you think
thinking
is
about
gonna
these
pop
things.
out of that elevator? Panda bear, Winnie the Pooh.
I mean, I'm here for the vibes, brother. I thought, you know, I mean, I was naked for the first 13, 12 episodes, man. You know, now I've got this nice little jacket on. You know, I thought maybe more vibes in there. You know, I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's just that tricycle just creeps me a bit out. Like I'm a bit worried on that. But you know, I'll approach this glass half full because we've seen a lot of beautiful, good garments and some sneaks with some traits. What I do want to see more now, though, is the skin traits, right? So we've seen a lot of clean ones now, but I'm curious to see like some of the more, you know, fancy ones.
Yeah. Well, what do you consider fancy?
Oh, I definitely would like the iridescent one or the hologram. Hologram, yeah. I'm definitely down. How about you? Which one are you looking forward to?
Let's see. I think eerie sounds wild. The ape fur, you know, I'm a Indigo fanboy. You know, I always have been. So the Indigo fur. I think I'm looking forward to that one. What do we got? Is there some like a demon or a dragon type thing? There's some type of a skin like that, right? Some kind of a lizard skin. Is there like some kind of scales or something? I don't know.
Demon
But,
skin,
maybe
you
that
mean?
one. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it was demon
Is it demon?
skin. Yeah.
I mean, you know, on one hand, you know, I kind of like the angelic side of things, you know, the peaceful, the happiness kind of thing. But every once in a while, you know, you gotta itch, you know. And so I think,
Ooh,
you know,
another one would be also like was it Crystal or not Crystal? What was it? The other one? Something hair.
something.
Something
I'm
hair.
looking forward to the something trade, man. That's what I'm talking about. Bring me something. Bring me something.
No, but I'm definitely looking forward to the next like episode. Like you know, so we are claiming now I think a lot of the people are claiming the garment. So that I'm curious, like how that's gonna look like. Like we've seen the visuals, we've seen the rarity which you're pulling during the garment claim, but
Mm-hmm.
we don't know how those are defined, right? So, um,
Right.
you know, that's kind of
Right.
tricky, but that's something that people will have to probably wait till reveal then, I think.
Yeah. 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 I mean, well, we got some epic, we got some rare, we got some novel, we got some common,
So,
right?
so,
Um,
so here's the funny part, right? This is another nugget I think a lot of people that just like been missing over the head is the fact that there are more people with novels than commons, right? And people are thinking like, oh, novel is bad, while actually it's the opposite, because that means your the loyalty points have been applied, and you have indeed pulled a better trait because of it, right? So that's why you are getting a novel and not a common. Now, some have very bad luck, like Tio. I think he pulled three common. Um, but yeah, a lot of people have been pulling rares, epics, and a lot of novels. But that's basically a lot of OGs being rewarded, but you don't know that at the moment because the whole
right.
collection has not been revealed, right? So
Right.
once everything falls in its place, then you see, oh yeah, novel ain't that bad at all, right? But that's something you probably gonna discover.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. If I think that's the interesting thing is that at least from what we've seen of all sneaks, at least from my perspective, everything has looked really, really clean, um, super polished, and so gosh, I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what you're talking about, man. That novel. It's a novel idea. What you're saying is a novel idea.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's based maybe something that we could also maybe ask the audience, like maybe what they expect next, or
Oh
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
how they might think what's coming or want to come, in terms of maybe a trait or a sneak,
Yeah.
or maybe even like the story, like that what do people think is gonna happen after that last scene, right? That would be also interesting to see if someone's up for to talk about that part. That would be fun.
That's really interesting. If anyone's interested to come on up, go ahead and throw your hand up. Um, Mike, I know that you've been a long time listener, and certainly not a first time caller. So feel free. But yeah, holy smokes, a lot to throw out there. A lot to certainly speculate on.
All right.
Um,
Yeah, because
Mike, what do you want to
I
say,
think
man?
this is so. If we go take all these steps back, right? Because you filled me in on it all. So this Indigo fella uh, went down to this motel, it seems, and with the vending machine, you get to pull all these interesting traits, and now we are entering this motel and we're seeing all these sneaks of what these transformations might look like. I think maybe is that it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But again, what's gonna happen next? Like, what would be the next part of this? Like, because we entered the scene cuts in that bedroom full of magazines of alts with different garments.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious, like, what will happen next? What would be the next
I don't.
logical?
The good thing is that this space is recorded and kind of just scattered all over the place, whether it be Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, and so if anybody ends up listening to this after the fact and wants to comment on maybe things that they'd like to see as far as sneaks or maybe within that animation, maybe they can throw it in there and we can follow up on it. But as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of magazines, man. there's a lot, like I don't know, like the first time we see inside of this hotel, and we got magazines on the floor, we got magazines on the couch, we got magazines on the coffee table, like, mate, can we get a magazine? Can we look inside of it? Like, like for real. Like it's nothing but magazines, but you can't. You just see the cover. Like, let me see the inside. Give me the inside scoop. Like that's what I want to know. The inside scoop.
Yeah, some more close up shots from like better quality, maybe.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
yeah.
we'll be having to zoom in and AI enhance stuff.
For sure. Bring me in on those textures, for real.
Man. But that's
But what about gaming, man? Like when we're panning through and taking a look inside of that motel, you know, it got me like kind of just thinking, man, like I dig gaming, right? You know, we'll talk about Deadfellaz in a little bit here, but I don't know, man. Like, what makes a good game for you, Fernando?
Oh, good game. I think a good game would be, sounds maybe corny, but I think a sense of the whole community kind of vibe. And what I mean with that is that energy that you have when you enter, let's say, a lobby, and you have your own kind of squad, because it's more fun to play with other people, right? And especially you got your own kind of team that comes at certain times. That's why, like that whole Project Dragon that you played, it looks real fun. I played myself as well. Is that sense that you're being guided by this team captain and you're having fun, and that proximity, conversation, and chat is also very fun to have, right? So I think that part is quite important to me, right? Because otherwise, a lot of games is the same. Like, you know, you got an objective, you got tools to get it, you build it, you can grow stronger, and you know, defeat enemies along the way, etc., etc., and it's done. So what does set you apart, I think, is that community sense. So I think that's why we also have in our space, that's so I think important, that everybody keeps muttering the words community. At least that's what I think, anyways, with regards to what makes a game important. I think we've seen also the same thing with the races that you've been doing in the Dookie Dash, right? It's that leaderboard, is that sense of community and competitiveness, right? Otherwise, you just play on your own and you finish any other game you want.
Yeah, I think you really kind of nailed it. That, like, first on the Dookie side, I'm having fun playing it, but like the piece that I'm missing is kind of like what you kind of tossed in the beginning, is like, how do I do it with friends, right? Like, how do I gamify that in a way that, like, you know, I'm not great, man. I'm a sewer scooter, and I'm just doing the best that I can, right? Sometimes I get a 7K run, and sometimes I get 100. But you know, I'm still having a good time. But you know, how can I do that with others, right? I think, you know, if you play a game like Fortnite or something, and you pop into this lobby, and you know, you're surrounded by maybe 3 more of your squad, and now you're excited, you're getting ready, and you're going into battle. You know, there's certainly something fun about you know, that setting up, getting ready to enter, right? I think that's fun for me, right? Like, how can that be enhanced? The other thing that I also get excited about is, sometimes, like, I'm all about community, I'm all about doing like team type things, but I also like me some campaign, man. I like extending my story out through that campaign, right? You know, I think sometimes there's more story that can be told while going through campaign, but so there's that for me. Another thing on gameplay that I enjoy, I played a game called Goat Simulator like a few days ago, just by total fluke. I ended up seeing this name Goat Simulator. And I don't know a whole lot about goats. I know a couple of goats, but I don't know a lot about them, right? And so then when I'm playing this Goat Simulator game, like I pop right into it, and the first thing that I notice is there is so much going on, right? Like I turn within, let's just say like this, you know, I don't know, square foot, right? Like this proximity of around me by say 30 feet, right? Like, but there's all kinds of different activations in terms of like how we engage with you know, people within this, you know, this simulated city. And there was just so much to do, you know. And I think whether having a combination of campaigns with interacting with some sort of objects in a solo mission, but also that can open up in multiplayer as well. I think just having things going on that you can interact with, right? Like the silly things, right? Like you know, what happens when you you know, when you kick over the fire hydrant, right? And then it spills water on the thing that then creates an electrical fire. Like that little detail of things just kind of gets me going. Like the depth of the mechanics, and then the consequences of them. Gosh, I love consequences. Sometimes, sometimes I don't like consequences at all.
Nama, but what kind of game do you really like to play in the last couple of weeks, though? Can you
What
tell
type
me
of game
more?
have I really
Yeah.
liked playing the last couple of weeks? Good question. Good question. I, I think I think I've been enjoying the just the Dookie. I think that's the thing that I've been playing the most lately. If I look back into games that I've really enjoyed from past, um, you know, the horror flicks like Resident Evil, right? Friggin' really dug those. I dug them back when I was playing the earlier versions, but then also you know, when the Raccoon City came out. So I think I have a great depth in the games that I play, um, but I honestly though, man, that Goat Simulator, I actually played it quite a bit. Once once I was, it's free world, man. I think, you know, being able to just kind of explore a free world. There we go. I would say not necessarily a particular game, but if I can walk around and I can do stuff with objects and those objects have consequences, like I friggin' dig that.
Yeah, I
And
mean
then,
that sounds quite cool. So how does that match with that, like, you know, the recent, you know, Deadfellaz stuff, you know, the good stuff?
well, I so Deadfellaz,
Because I
they've
don't know anything about it, so I'd love to know everything about
yeah.
it.
Well, so they have a TCG, a trading card game called Death Touch. It seems to be an adventure game. You know, seeming not to be like some ordinary type of a TCG, but more of like a picture deck full of Deadfellaz inspired characters. I think it's like just intense zombie themed. I think, you know, the collection just nails zombie, and I think you know, it's you know, I think they'll have lore rich character backgrounds, strategic card battles, testing skills. I think in unique ways of traditional elements, but maybe more of an edgy Deadfellaz storyline. I you know, I ended up intercepting a transmission from Ollie, and he ended up sending me some of the details. So let me toss some of those up as pins in a moment. But really, it was through the Twitter space that that I ended up intercepting where I got some of this information. So I'll make sure that's all available. You'll want to check that out yourself, because everything that I captured is stuff that you know, that I identified. But, you know, going into the deep dive into the game, into the mechanics of SKALE, I think it's more important that you hear it directly from them, or rather than take anything from me directly. But you know, I think Death Touch, is going to be a hardcore TCG, or if you just love Deadfellaz, and if you love zombies, maybe, maybe you'll get hooked on something like that. I know that when we did the alpha testing of Megaforce Arena, holy smokes, had a great time with that one. If it's anything like that, I was hooked on that. And so the alpha on the alpha is I believe we're going to have access to play the alpha version of Death Touch. TBD on what all we'll be able to share with that. That's all new. We did an interview with Psych, and so I think that gave us the opportunity, and certainly Mike nudging Psych to help us, get our hands on that. That may have helped as well. But I mean, what makes it fresh? I think what's intriguing about Death Touch is how it pushes TCG genre into a different territory. Deadfellaz signature lore into competitive format where you can actually play out narratives. I think I'm a lore fan, so being able to extend that out is near and dear to my heartstrings. Imagine strategizing with your favorite zombie dead characters where every move has a little Deadfellaz twist, or the game, I think it needs to be easy for new players, but also deep enough for maybe your seasoned TCG pros to be able to master some of that. I know that when I played the Applied Primate game, or excuse me, Megaforce Arena, when the first right out the gate, I was playing and I wasn't paying attention. I was reading cards, but holy smokes! Then once I started diving into reading the cards, and then started making moves, maybe 2, 3, or maybe 4 moves ahead, I started recognizing how deep the mechanics of the game were, and you could. Again, in Megaforce Arena, you could have been down 20, 30, health points, and then, you can come back and spin it around, right? And so I think looking forward to seeing how that Death Touch stands out from that side of things. And then, the other aspect of one of the things I picked on was, okay, so these Web3 games are all built on blockchains, and one of the things that we know, man, is spending $40 to change a shirt is probably not going to be a long-term, solution, right? So, I mean, I think all of that has to, mechanically make sense. And I think, what I understood, and again, I'll pin these up, but one of the things that I understood from SKALE, and why they chose SKALE specifically. Well, one of the things that it provides is zero gas, super fast blockchain environment. That means as players, you won't be held back by transaction fees or delays, right? I believe Deadfellaz chose SKALE because they're really thinking about their community, right? Again, the cost of transacting, like having that impact gameplay is problematic. I think we can understand that. I think they want Death Touch to be smooth and accessible as possible. I mean, I think SKALE's infrastructure is maybe ideal for a mobile-friendly game that can handle tons of players without slowing down. This is all about making Web3 gaming approachable for everyone, and I think honestly that's what all blockchains are going to strive for, at least from that gaming front, right? I think, and we'll see various use cases for various blockchains. Certainly, I think many can agree there's not going to be one rooster that roosts them all. But yeah, and then I guess, I don't know how it fits into, say, like maybe a Deadfellaz mission. I don't know. Deadfellaz has always been a community and in innovation, right? I think one of the things that I've enjoyed about various assets is how can I do things with them? How can I make them talk? How can I make them work, right? And Deadfellaz has done a number of things with with hologram and being able to, make their characters move in more of a 2D styling. They're really kind of pioneers, bringing horror themed storytelling to NFTs, and I dig rich storytelling and something that breaks from the norms. I think building on SKALE aligns perfectly with the goal in making Web3 inclusive and interactive. I think they're pushing boundaries and taking the genre to people that that do truly love TCGs. I think in terms of release and community involvement, I think that's the big question. When can we actually get our hands on Death Touch? I believe it's slated for early access. It's Q1 of 2025. And again, Riff Radio will have access to alpha in order to play now what can be shared and how that goes. We'll find out. But I think that's the thing that is something that I'm excited about is getting hands on alpha games, seeing how they've advanced through beta. And then, and when they release to market, now we've now we got the inside scoop, man. Now now we'll be able to show folks what we've learned along the way. And I think the other thing is, building in public. Yeah, I think people want to get their hands on things. One of the things that I noticed is, Ollie really got worked up once he got his hands on those wheels. Like it just fueled them, from at least what I saw. And I think when you can drop little pieces along the way while you're building, you get a glimpse of what people are resonating with, kind of like what you were asking earlier, Fernando, when what will people want to see about the Adidas sneak next? What maybe with skins are they interested in, right? Asking these questions and getting feedback in real time. Now you're showing sneaks and things that truly resonates with community, and I think all that stuff matters. I think it matters a great deal. And then let's see, engaging with community. Deadfellaz is big on community. I mean, they've been here from the start. Death Touch, I don't think is going to be any exception. They want players to feel like part of the journey, just like any community, right? I think they're consistently looking for feedback and questions, just like Adidas is, and in a number of other communities. And I think as Death Touch for it to grow, I think they need to listen to the voices and thoughts of people that help shape that game. And so if you're curious and excited, have any burning questions, throw them up. If anything that I've said resonates with you, or if you have any feels related to gaming or alts for that matter, these are just my thoughts, man. I vibe off of games, man. I'm the biggest thriller of them all. I'll hang my hat on that one.
I mean, for sure, man. I mean, you definitely can hear the passion in you definitely are the thrills in the gaming lord, I would say, right? And with the Deadfellaz, it's so. I mean, we had Psychon, right? And it's such. I love to see this kind of wins and iterations in the space, especially when it comes to gaming, right? I mean, a lot of the stuff that we are doing is gaming kind of related, I would say, like, with the Project Dragon, the Dookie Dash streaming, and even like, the Deadfellaz game, right?
Yeah.
And how it's on, like, on scales with this the zero gas and the high speed, blockchain architecture. So these are small wins for the space, but at some point you will see the line between Web3 and Web2 fade completely away. Only thing what you see at the front is just the same kind of experience, UI UX experience that you are used to or can appreciate. but still with that tech in the back of, decentralization, that ownership of it. We've discussed this many times, like when it comes to the gaming part and ownership. Like when you look at Counter-Strike, some of the assets that are being resold, like, on secondary market, in an, I think, illegal way, because there isn't an official way, right? So it's
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
accounts being sold. Um, I think I think it's a natural match for the gamers, for the gaming community, but the vessel has been kind of hijacked, and the vessel being the NFT, as like, the name was, as we say it, right? So
right.
I think it might need a rebranding, and in over time it will happen naturally. Um, but I think that's where the future will be. I mean, you want to own digital stuff, and one of
Yeah,
the most thing is like owning your digital achievement, and one of the places that you have that is the gaming area, right?
yeah.
Whether it's Metaverse or Deadfellaz, Fortnite, whatever. So
I
I think,
think
yeah,
no, I was gonna add on to that. I also think not just the assets, but your progress, right? Like I remember playing so much Mario Kart, right? I remember playing so much Contra. I remember playing all of some of these games, right? Just endlessly,
yeah,
hours, days, weeks, what have you, right? And not necessarily just assets, but like some sort of a gamer card and the capabilities that you've done along the way, right? Like, you know, I'm certainly excited about, if I've been on this journey with a Zelda type character forever, and I've visited and I've come across all these places and these lands, man, like it takes a long time to collect that. Like I don't know if you've played a Zelda and collected those seeds, man, but they're scattered all over the place, right? Like, like in order to find all of them, it takes like forever, right? But being able to sell that time, right? I think, there's everyone's gonna want, I don't know, maybe not everybody, or maybe somebody wants a flamethrower, maybe someone wants a sword, maybe someone wants a jacket or a hat or what have you. But outside of that, I think there's also a desire and progression. I think there's a capability in order to sell that progression,
yeah.
that time that you've spent. Right now, maybe that's in earning the hat or the sword or the what have you. Right, but I think we're on the tip of the iceberg. And I think that can be done in so many ways. Right.
I mean, another approach we've seen, like, is the same with 10KTF, right? Um, with the press junket at Ape Fest, and that little tease of showing how the game can look like, a little first impression, just to tell, dip your toes in the water to see what the community's response has been, which I think has been overwhelming positive in general, right? I think with the 10KTF there is so much uh, potential with the lore and the storytelling, whether it's from the official or from the community. I think the characters, they look fun. Um, they all kind of have their own, how do you say, uh, yeah, character, as you say, like, like you can, if you grab five of them of the grilled and you look at them, and you can come up with a character design and traits for each and one of them. Like, one could be quirky, one is more happy, one is grumpy. You can do it whatever, because they have those kind of features in their face. So now, if you're going to combine that also with racing, right, you can, it kind of almost reminds me of wacky races, right? Right. So
Yeah.
then the where you have these crazy races, and the stories about each behind each character, right? So, but again, I'm a sucker for myself for good story and lore. So when I see stuff out in the wild, in my head, I start making up stories around that, and which I love.
Well, well, speaking of stories and lore, man, like shout out to Boss Toads. It reminds me that we better hit a commercial at some point. Otherwise, the bills that, they don't pay themselves, man. And, these commercials, they're just, they're keeping everything together just by a thread. So at some point, we better kick that sucker off.
Yeah, man. I mean, this we have to keep paying the bills, as they say, right?
Yeah, they don't pay themselves. I'll tell you that much.
All right, let's go grab a commercial, and we'll be back soon, I guess, right? Let's go.
Hey there, drips! Ready turn heads and set trends. Introducing Drip Drop. Whether you're hitting the runway or just stepping out in style, Drip Drop is your ultimate fashion fix. Exclusive access to cutting-edge fashion and the latest looks. We're talking looks so fresh, even your grandma would want in.
Yes, queen.
Visit us online and elevate your style. Drip Drop, where every look is a showstopper and every sidewalk is a catwalk. Disclaimer. Drip Drop is not responsible for fashion emergencies, sudden paparazzi, or spontaneous runway walks. Style responsibly and watch out for jealous friends. Hey!
Well, you heard it. Style responsibly and watch out for jealous friends. Those are the worst.
yeah. Don't need jealous friends, and the last thing I need is paparazzi. That's what I'm telling you.
I mean, it's on theme perfectly, given that we are claiming the garment, right? So, claim the drip, and and just let the haters slide over the smooth
slide. Yeah, man. Surround yourself by good people. Like, that's the alpha of the day, right? I know we're not an alpha. We're not an alpha show, right? We just relay the news. But if there's one,
we're definitely not an alpha show. I mean, half the time we don't know what we're doing, man.
that is absolutely accurate. But I'll say one thing I've seen throughout all of this universe is, if you surround yourself by good people, good things will come to you. If you surround yourself by bad actors, man, that can make for a difficult time.
Yeah, but to be fair, with that big cranium of yours, that itself has its own gravitational pull, so stuff will.
Man. I'm telling you. You know how many? That's probably why I'm wrecking like I do in the sewers, man. It's this freaking dome of mine. It's pulling me into the walls. It's pulling me into the fridges, and I'm bouncing and I'm wrecking, man. I'm wrecking
man. I bet, man. That thing has its own gravitational pull.
Oh, it does. It's smooth, Smooth brothers is what we are.
Oh man, I mean, it can generate solar energy on its own.
I mean, how do you think I'm powering the headquarters over here, man? Like, I got some cognitive depth from it. I'm telling you.
Well, to be fair, I'm the one talking because my head looks like a freaking Olympic ski piste. You can just glide off it.
I have figured it out. It's the antennas that you have under your lip that feeds all of that crazy brain power into your cranium. It's the antennas under your nose, sir. You call it a mustache. I'm calling it antennas. You've got a ton of them.
I call them dirt catchers. Oh, freaking hell, man. Oh, man. But what I just still want to touch on about, maybe...
what are you touching now,
I'm not touching anything.
Drums?
This is PG-rated show.
Here are the drums, Fernando. I'm talking about drums, my friend.
This is a PG-rated show. I'm not touching anything. I'm on camera. Everybody can see. I am not touching anything. I'm being recorded. This is how people get canceled and end up making an apology video. Like, I'll be sitting there with my suit, like, I'll hire. I hire some
the show
kids.
Isn't large enough for the Karens to show up and cancel us, so we're fine. We're totally safe.
I'll be sitting with my suit. I'll hire 2 kids as well to prepare. I like to apologize for my behavior. Oh man, all right. So, all right. Seriously, back to we're professional.
With the sponsors, they're gonna pull.
Oh yeah. Well, fellas.
They're pulling. They're running. What did we do?
Oh, we had a good run. If this was our last show.
we had a good run. We put clothes on the alien. Now we're taking them back. See you later. That's all. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up, man. For real, man. But I mean, if it is, we'll still have our pull-up for the people, I think.
Yeah. You can still get your pull-up. Let's see. I think what the heck? Let's see. I think it's Haunted, right? If I'm correct, Haunted will be that POAP. If you've been to this show before, you know that every once in a while there's a proof of attendance that you can collect, a little POAP that you can collect, and by entering in that secret word Haunted, you'll be able to collect that. Now, the way that we do it is you need to be here in order to get it. So it kicks off at the end of the show. In this case, it'll be the top of the hour, and then it's live for 15 minutes. So go ahead, collect that POAP. Haunted, I have no idea, what comes next, but I'm sure Fernando does.
Fernando does.
Fernando do.
Oh man. So yeah, get that POAP and maybe we can share something about potentially our next guest time around, but we have to see if they are available. Like, sometimes the stars align and the universe align, and it's possible, but we are definitely two hosts that sees everything as glass orange half full, right?
Yes.
And or should we say we see it half beer full?
I would say we see it half bubbly.
Half bubbly.
Half bubbly. It's half bubbly. Our guest in the next 2 weeks, they'll be bubbled up. Possibly half bubbly, half activated. I don't know what else.
Yeah, well, I mean, we could share. I mean, they've been keeping the mutants and the apes hydrated during the Ape Fest, so that's maybe a little sneak, I would say. Sneak. Alpha.
Okay,
alpha
so
sneak.
the next guest has kept apes and mutants hydrated. Okay.
At the Ape Fest, yeah. So
at Ape Fest. Okay.
Yeah. So there's gonna be a fun conversation we'll be having. There's a lot of the stuff is blank because of the way they kept me hydrated. So I have blanks in my memory. So I have to ask what's their formula for that.
Yeah, I am glad you made it back to the hotel. I was, when I was at Ape Fest virtually, because I did attend virtually. I was hoping you were going to make it, and here we're talking. So everything turned out fine.
Blinko, I'm telling you, I've seen videos on my phone, and I've been taking with my the Ray-Ban glasses. And so at random moment, I would just press click and then record, and then I'll forget that I'm recording, right? And then the next day I'm in the hotel opening my phone and importing all the media from the glasses, and I'm like, I don't remember this. How did I ended up there? Like at some point, I'm in a club with a table. I'm like, when did I get a table? Like, how did I even get in? But yeah, the summary was good, and I came back home safe, and my wallet was not rugged. So I'm good.
It's good. It's always good.
Yeah.
It's always good not even to travel with the wallet when you're at some of those events.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure. So yeah, I mean, maybe next time. I don't know where they're gonna do the next one, but rumors are like Vegas, but I think that's for ApeCoin. But if Ape Fest and the Ape Coin would be like, at Vegas, that would be kind of dope.
Well, there is. Okay, so we got a couple minutes. There is, we've been talking about gaming, and Nexus is going to be the next thing popping off on the other side, I believe, here this month. So that's flipping exciting.
Ooh, but you mean the Coda ones?
Well, yeah, I think. Also, that's also going to be the home of the Wagmi-san shop, right? So sounds like shop will sit there, and maybe we'll find out what the Coda is. I mean, people have been saying that.
I mean, what the fuck is even a Coda?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Tell us.
Well, I mean, do we know? Like, do we have a rumor on this? Like, what could be potentially be the purpose of them?
Well, all right. Let's see. The tinfoil hat in me would say, if apes are, if they kick it in the clubhouse and they kind of rule that roost, my gut tells me that Coda's ruled the roost of the whole other side. So, I think I don't know, but that's where I'm at.
All right. Keep that tin foil hat on and keep us updated.
I borrow it from time to time. We need another actor to come on before the full scoop comes out. But
But I am curious, like, even with like the Toad boss, and then you got the dragon, you got the Coda, you got the swamp, you got the other side. I'm curious on how all this ties together, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I know it all. I know it needs music. I know all of it needs music. I know that. That's for sure. and a Walkman. I was walking around the other side, and I just wanted to vibe, and I couldn't vibe. Yeah,
I am. So that's also a thing I do like. They don't just open up other side for randomly, right? We actually have missions and we have activations. Because if you just open it and then everybody just goes in, and then after 10 minutes or 10 days of jumping around, everybody's just bored and say right, and now what? Right? Because that's why I said it comes back to the whole community part and activating stuff together. That's where the fun factor really is, right? And I'm looking forward to the next episode and the mission where there's the Codas, discover what the fuck they are, and where there's the dragon mission.
Yeah, what's our intent? What's our purpose? And then what do we do next? I don't know, man. I'm ready for it, though. You tell. I'm ready. Bring on the tools.
So the Deadfellaz game, this, it's still gonna be rolling out. You think it's gonna be also available? Do you know whether it's gonna also be available in the app stores? Or is it more
That's
like
a good question. It did say mobile first. So,
mobile first.
When I think mobile, I do think my phone. I do think apps.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking.
Maybe it's not even a per se an app. Maybe it's not even an app, but it's just a web browser login, same like token proof and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you just authenticate and you can just play it.
I think the exciting thing is we'll get to find out and we'll get to share it with others. And then, the hope would be that each iteration we're invited along throughout that process, and then we can share that journey with folks and, help share feedback, because I think all that matters.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean, even with the next when there's how do you say, not activation but launch, it's definitely good to maybe ask Psych to come also to share more on what they've been building.
I think so. I think one of the things that I threw at him was, let's have you on. Let's bring on the other 20 or so alpha testers, and let's vibe. Let's talk. What are we liking? What are we not? What are And so I think that's a model that we could replicate across other projects that maybe want to come and kick it with us and allow us to play test some of their alpha, beta, and release game.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Heck
That
yeah,
would,
man.
yeah, that would be definitely
The
fun.
story's just getting started, brother. I'm here for the long haul, and I know you are too.
Definitely, bro. So I think in the last 2 months of the year, we'll be seeing a lot of happening with, of course, with the alts. That's gonna be coming to its own, like, the story of alts will get its, the final chapter kind of stuff, right? And everybody will getting what, we've been working hard to get for the last couple of years. But that's just one part. Then we got also like the Yuga other side, 10KTF, and also a lot of MBAs and a lot of like the Albera and applied primates, mutants, all these we could say almost L2 kind of stuff.
Yeah,
L2
man.
lore.
Yeah, man.
They've been also pushing and building for the last 15 months in the bear, right? Everything that we're seeing being rolled out now has been built over the last 12, 13 months. So excited to see that. And with that, every time we'll be coming back and see what's been happening in the space. And, where there's event, I'll be trying to be there, or you, right? Whoever's spaceship is more near the event heads to that stuff. And otherwise we'll be reporting from the metaverse, right? And
Yeah, man.
yeah, and with that, I think our show for today has come to a near end. But
Yeah.
you can claim the POAP, I think, in the next minute, I think, right?
Yeah, haunted. You can do it for, I believe, the next 15. Claim that. Don't forget. Have a blessed weekend.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
I kind of had
Get
fun
out,
with
touch.
making this POAP in specific.
Yo, I will also
I think you're gonna like. I think you're gonna like it.
I'm excited to look at it. I'm excited to see it. I know that you looked comfy in that horde sweatshirt you were wearing, popping out of that popping out of your place, man.
Yeah, I'm rocking
Shoot,
this the new Deadfellaz gear on me at the moment.
Nice.
Yeah, I ordered like the cap as well, but it's coming.
Pretty fly for a white guy. That's what I.
Yeah, you know it. Maybe I might even. I have to check because I ordered a couple of them. I have to see if one doesn't fit my size. We could maybe give it to the listeners. But hey, well, I'm not promising anything. It first has to come, and then I have to check the fitting. If it doesn't fit, fair enough.
if it's not gonna work for me, we got gifts. If it works for me, rug. Perfect. Perfect.
For real, bro. All right, man. Let's wrap it up. Thanks for joining again, and don't forget to claim the POAP. It's haunted, was it? Ooh, haunted. And next time. Ooh. I'm laughing because I'm seeing Blinko on screen. Trust, it's funny because I know you, but if I would met you in an alley and you would pull that face, I would piss my pants on the spot.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you can do that with our guests next time.
Oh, it is Halloween anyway. All right, man.
It is.
Have a spooky weekend, everybody, and a healthy weekend as well, not just spooky.
Yeah, spooky and healthy. The best way to be. Be well.
Be well. Take care, everybody.